Hello, and thank you for watching and listening to another episode of Who Is This For? My name's Scott Morfitt, and I'm a guy that likes to put on dress shirts and sweatpants and hop on calls. I'm also a guy that hosts a podcast about speaking intentionally and communicating to an audience of one. I think that no matter the size or the way we're communicating, it really is a one-on-one message. Even if something's mass marketed, it's still meant for a person at a time, in my opinion, anyway. So I am thrilled to be talking today with someone I've had the privilege of collaborating with over the years and just getting to know and really learn a lot about communicating. And we were even in a morning marketing meetup. Oh gosh. Back in the 2012-ish era, I believe.
Eons ago.
So welcome to the show, Erin Trowbridge. How's it going today?
It's going great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to have a conversation with you. This is fun.
I am too. Just to get going, to get started, do you want to give a little bit of your CV, little CV elevator pitch mashup, just to let the audience right there know what you're all about?
Yeah, you bet. I have been working in the marketing field for my entire career. I actually went to school in Sioux Falls, South Dakota at Augustana University and studied business and communications there. And ever since then, I've been working in some form of marketing field. I came to Eau Claire in 2006, I believe. So quite a while ago, and eons ago in the marketing timeline. That was when we were just learning about Google Analytics and Google Ads and all of these new tools. Social media was coming out. iPhone didn't come out till 2007, I think. So right in that big transition of marketing changing. So worked in economic development, worked in the nonprofit space, worked for a local web design company, finance, higher education. I worked at UW-Eau Claire for a couple of years. So just a wide range of experiences, and have worked on the client side and the in-house side. I consider myself a generalist because I have had to do all of the things, right? Like I've had to write the email copy and create the graphics for the email and send the email and look at the analytics for the email. That's one tactic, but across all of those things. So just a lot of different experiences, which I think, just keeps me flexible in terms of how we market.
Yeah. You mentioned email marketing, and I guess for my first question, what types of marketed emails does Erin open and actually look at, and what to delete quickly?
If you saw my Gmail inbox, you'd be like, wow, she doesn't delete any emails.
Oh no. You don't have unread. You don't have 1 million unread, do you? Because I can't look at it then.
That's a lot. It's not 1 million, but it's a lot. I won't tell you how many. Yeah. Gosh, what emails do I read? And I think this goes to why I don't delete emails, because I like to have access to personalized offers, but I don't need them always at the time when they send them. So I use my inbox kind of as a personalized search tool. If I'm looking for, I saw a coupon for, Papa John's or Wayfair or something. Okay, I know I got an email from them, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to look, and then I'm going to open it and then probably go from there. So that's a, weird way that I use that. Otherwise, I have a few that I read fairly religiously. Seth Godin is one of them. He has a daily blog that he sends out an email. It's very short, very easy to read, very specific, and it doesn't take a lot of energy, but it gives like a really good insight or something. And so his is one that I like to read a lot, very consistently. Other than that, it's some news things, just give me the highlights and get me out of there and catch up on, I don't know. Other than that, it's client emails. To be honest.
Oh, that was just a random question that popped in my head. So you've looked at things both as the 100-foot level and the on-the-ground marketer.
Mm-hmm.
What is your first, what's your step one when approaching a project? That one's, I think I'm starting a couple new things, so I might even just be asking this.
That's okay.
Yeah, what's your step one for when you wrap your mind around some sort of communication on whatever medium? You can pick a medium too, email, website, etc.
The question is usually the same no matter what. What is the goal?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a common thing that I feel like a broken record, but I just have to put it on repeat all the time. What is the goal? What are we trying to accomplish and with who? I recently had a conversation with someone about this initiative that they're working on. And, well, we need to do this and we need to do that. And I'm hearing like 8 different audiences, right? That all are going to have different messages. And so in that conversation, you just break it down. So like for this audience, what is the goal? What do we need them to do actually? And then you just work backwards. So what has to happen in order for that to be true? And then you back it up a little bit more. And then, okay, so what has to happen for that to be true? And we just work backwards. So it's really starting with the end in mind. What is the goal? What are we actually trying to accomplish? And what do we need our audience to accomplish? What are they trying to do? So that's a very common step one.
Yeah, I think that so often people are so close to what they do, and there is a lot of parts to it. There's a lot of parts to whatever they do. If they run a feed store, if they're a real estate company, there's just a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I guess your strategy is always like looking at that goal and then breaking down the communication.
Yeah.
How do you approach?
I was just going to say, you have to break it down into bite-sized pieces because it is so big. Marketing is just like a huge field, and communicating with other humans is complex sometimes. So you have to break it down into bite-sized pieces, especially when people are so busy. They don't have time or attention to spend too much time on any one thing. So we have to put it into really small bite-sized nuggets.
Yeah.
And that's just how our brains work. That's how we learn, in kind of those small chunks, and then apply it, right? So learn something and then apply it. So I think it's really important to just break it down to the smallest pieces. Sometimes when you do that, you run the risk of this piece is going that way and this piece is going that way, and then they're all disconnected. So that's where that 10,000 foot view comes into play. Let's look at all of it together and make sure that at least those little micro actions or whatever, they all line up and are headed in the same direction.
I love that. I guess for me, my personal approach with most things is I put myself in the shoes of the end customer. Do you find that you're doing more of that? Or do you find that because you've had so many multifaceted positions that you're seeing the communication on a few different levels?
Mm-hmm. If a client comes to me with a challenge, hey, we're trying to reach this group. Obviously, I'm not going to have the lived experience of the audience that they're trying to reach. On a personal level, like, we do our best to put ourselves in their position. But a lot of it has to come from research too. And we recently added some research chops to our team, which is really exciting. But I think between learning and understanding, go look for what they're doing. Go spend time on the platforms where that target audience is and get a feel. If I'm trying to reach men who are on YouTube watching how-to videos, like, that's not an activity that I do, and I don't know their lived experience. So I go and watch the content, and I go and see what they're seeing, and I experience the ads that they're seeing and the influencers that are in that space. And so we get that perspective and then try to look at data around the audience. Like, from a research perspective, what are the numbers behind that? What are they looking at? What are they engaging with? So I think it's both of those things. And sometimes we dig in a little bit further to get the audience perspective. But what's interesting is that it's not even like, we're talking to humans all the time, no matter what the industry is, which is why I think your podcast is really awesome, because it is that like human communication. Like, you're talking to another human being. And that is very similar. That's across all organizations. We're always dealing with people, and people say our industry is so different and our audience is so different. Yeah, it has its nuance, but we're talking to people at the end of the day, and people have emotions, and that's how they make decisions. There's a lot of commonality, but what I think is the most powerful thing about how we approach it is that it is customer focused. A lot of times the small business owner, the marketing team is usually better at this, but like the people who are in the business, they're very internally focused, right? They're focused on their own product, their own service capabilities, their own operations, and they try to put that into their marketing materials. And what we do is we just flip it so that it's starting with the customer, and then how does what the company does feed and serve the customer. I think that's, I don't know, just a different approach. It seems very common sense. It seems very, of course you would do that, but it's surprising how many companies don't, and they're just talking about themselves a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like that approach would help marketing align with sales a lot, ideally.
Absolutely.
Because I've noticed this being in sales roles, being like, hey, what are these marketing people doing?
Yeah.
I just need our top 3 like advantages on this piece of paper.
Yep. Yeah. The relationship between marketing and sales is really fascinating one. Some companies do it really well where their marketing and sales teams are the same team, but a lot of times they're butting heads, whether that's for credit or strategy or whatever the case may be. Again, because we take that customer approach, marketing and sales are part of the same journey. And I have worked in some really great organizations where both marketing and sales have said, okay, our goal is to serve this person over here. So let's work together on that. And then it just becomes a feedback loop. And you ask each other questions. What are you seeing over here? And what is the sales team hearing directly from the customer? Because they're usually the closest person to them. So when it works, when sales and marketing work together, it's a treasure trove of data for marketing. And that allows us to then retool some of the materials, right? So that as the salesperson, you actually get, yes, this is something that's helpful and will help me close a sale or move them further down the process. Instead of just, here's another list of product features that the engineering team gave us and they told us to put it on a one sheet. I don't know.
Exactly. Oh, and it's coming in the next release.
Right.
Oh, this is so good. You mentioned, and I'm doing this in reverse, but you mentioned your team. Tell me a little bit more about that team, what you started, what you have going there, because it's really interesting.
Yeah. So 4Ps Consulting we're small. We're all contractors, but we're a cohesive team of people who are focused on that marketing or that customer journey. So we started with 4 founders of people who we just loved working together and didn't ever want to not work together. So we started a company. But really the purpose of it, the mission of our organization is to elevate the practice and profession of marketing. And that means a lot of different things. On the practice side of things, that means that we want to execute marketing better, right? Like with the customer in mind, using ethical marketing practices, using storytelling that really gets to the right people. We hear a lot of, I hate marketing, I hate advertising. Oh, close that banner ad. People don't want spam. They don't want that intrusive sort of marketing experience. But when they find a brand that cares about what they care about and gives them really good content to engage with and entertains them and makes them laugh or feel something, they really enjoy those experiences. And so on the practice side of things, what we're really trying to do is elevate the tools and tactics that we use, focused on the customer first, to deliver so that these small businesses, we primarily work with small companies, so that they are better equipped to reach the right audience and therefore grow. So that's a huge part of what we do. The other side of it is the profession. Marketing, in a lot of cases, does not get a seat at the leadership table. They are seen as sometimes like an in-house agency that just takes orders, right? Instead of being like...
Or magicians. Sometimes magicians.
Yep. Or very design and promotion focused instead of being a strategic arm of the company. And when you think about like the major functions in a business, you've got operations, finance, marketing, HR. Like on a broad level, like those are 4 very key components in any company. And so when that marketing piece, which is the closest tie to the customer, is an afterthought in a lot of ways because we're thought of as advertising and promotion or design. Not that those things aren't important because they are, but it's just such a broader field. So what we're trying to do is collaborate with other people in our space to really try to raise the profession itself to a more
Yeah.
strategic level in the company. So that's a huge part of what we do. That's where Roadmap came from, in which, I don't know, maybe we'll talk about that, but the Roadmap
Oh.
conference is a way to gather this marketing and communications community in the Eau Claire area and then beyond that, Western Wisconsin and the Midwest, because I think that we need to be talking to each other. A lot of us work in one-person marketing departments. We don't have big teams to be able to bounce ideas off of and get feedback and resources and things like that. So this is a way for us to bring that powerhouse of talent together at least once a year to make sure that we're connecting and sort of raising the bar for marketing and communications in the area.
So one thing in that you mentioned that really leapt out to me is you said one word quickly, and it was contract. And that's really interesting because I've done a lot of freelancing lately, or fractional marketing, depending on who I'm telling it to. Fractional when I try to sound professional, freelance when I'm explaining it to someone that I want to get done with the convo quickly. I've noticed that there's a lot more teams that are building outside of that traditional company structure. Do you want to explain how that works with you guys?
So we are a team of all contractors. And in the beginning, we had discussed, like, should we hire employees to grow or should we just build our contractor base? And I think the part of the reason why we went towards the contractor role to build our team was because we recognize that the experts that we have in these different areas, so we have a team that's made up of people who are in market research, video, social media, other marketing generalists. And then we have people that do finance and sales and some operations and leadership development, supporting the marketing function in those ways too. But they all have very specialized skills. They do have other clients that they work with. And our intention was never to hoard the resources. Right?
Yeah.
The purpose was really just to collaborate better and to build the resources for companies to come and work with us and say, I can get 90% of what I need right here with this team. It allows a lot of flexibility, the way that people work, especially in the marketing field, and it's going to continue to change. But especially in this field, anything related to marketing, like, people can work from anywhere. They like to work when they work, especially creatives. Like, you don't know when it's going to strike you. Oh, I need to work on that design, or I'm really feeling in the groove right now. So we didn't want to dictate when people work and where they work and sometimes even how they work. Like, they're going to bring ideas that we haven't thought of yet. So we just wanted to really give these professionals the most opportunity to do their jobs well. And so that's a lot of what lended to the contractor model. Selfishly, it's less risk for the company. Taking on employees is that's a big lift. And as a small business, like, we're pretty modest. We charge modest prices. And so employees, it's a bigger lift. We do have opportunities for associate consultants. So we work really closely with the educational institutions to allow their graduates and students to come in and work with us as well. So again, pairing entry-level marketers and communicators with more senior professionals, but doing it on a contract basis. Yeah, it's a different way to work, a different model. But I think that where we're at right now in how people want to work and the flexibility that they demand, I think that it's a winning model for us, at least. And there's nothing that we do in marketing that can't be done on this model. I don't think. Obviously, there are some scenarios where we will recommend, like, you should have an in-house person for this. But for a lot of special projects, campaigns, major initiatives, things that sometimes an in-house team just doesn't have the capacity or the specialized expertise to handle, like, that's where this kind of model can really support that business and their growth.
Awesome. One, bravo on creating positions for younger employees, because that's something I've been noticing so much lately, that, and thinking about, like, I think it would be so hard to be exiting college now, because a lot of the jobs that entry level people did are being replaced by AI. And so that's great that you're doing that. What I wanted to ask about is, and it is related to that, but do you find that it changes the internal communications to have the person you're working with be a fellow contractor versus an employee of the same company? Do you see any differences as you're working with people?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of differences. And we're still trying to figure it out. I kind of joke with some of our consultants. We haven't tackled this yet. I don't know, but we're going to figure it out and we'll talk through it. The biggest thing for me is just like making sure that that things are equitable for people. I don't want to take their clients, right? Unless they say, hey, this client would be a good fit for 4Ps. Let's bring them into this model. So communicating with our team is, again, they're mostly like seasoned professionals. So they're used to some of this like client contact and things like that. We do like project meetings once a month, at least right now. We're just getting started. But we do project meetings once a month so that we can all get to know each other, so we can talk about what's going on, talk shop a little bit, talk about client work a little bit. So it just, that regular cadence at least keeps us connected. And then we have a shared calendar with different upcoming events and stuff that we can choose to participate in if they desire. We use Basecamp as a project management tool, and we have an HQ in there that has chat features and message board and different to-dos and stuff like that, documents. Yeah. So we can share resources through that tool with everyone. So it is very different, but I think it's manageable, especially, again, with contractors who either are used to that scenario. Now, we do have some contractors who are not used to running their own business. They maybe just went out on their own, and now they don't want to deal with the administrative stuff. They don't want to deal with the business development and the sales, or just want to do my work. And so it's really a good option for them too, where they don't necessarily they still have to do some, obviously, because they're still their own entity, but it takes some of that pressure off to have more established, I don't know, client connections and up in the community. Yeah. So I don't know. We're still figuring it out, but it's been really great so far. And everyone is very open to ideas. It's really just, we want people on the team who are very collaborative. There's not really a competitive feel at all. We've always taken the approach that a rising tide floats all boats, right? If I can help support you, if I can help support another agency or another freelancer, like even if you're not part of the 4Ps team, I want companies working with really great talent. And so if that means that that's a better fit for you, because sometimes it is just a personal relationship or a personal preference. Oh yeah, I like working with that person because of this and that. Cool. That's great. Yeah. I think that comes back, and I think the collaborative spirit is a much more sustainable option.
I agree. And I think especially in the marketing world, there are just certain voices that are right for certain projects. Like, some people are great for communicating to the industrial mechanical world. I learned on one project I'm okay on. Yeah. But that was one where I learned, I just need to use the words that like engineers will read on this website and not build them as a hero in their own journey. Yeah. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that collaborative spirit. And yeah, just building it, because I think for so long, I think that the notion of expertise pushed everyone to not maybe siloing their information, but definitely presenting it in a way like, hey, I'm super right. And here is my SEO filled blog on why I'm super right. That is what a marketing leader is. But you've been deeply collaborative over the years too, hosting marketing meetups, like I said at the start.
Yeah.
And something that's upcoming, and that is the Roadmap Conference. Do you want to tell us what that's all about?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the Roadmap Conference is coming up on October 9th. I'm not sure when this episode will air, but we're getting pretty close to the day. Yeah, okay, perfect.
And this is still fresh news for a while.
Yeah. And it is an annual event. We'll continue to do this every year. This is our second year. It's a collaboration, again, between 4Ps Consulting, Double Forte, which is a PR and communications firm in Eau Claire, and they have national offices, and Daredevil Consulting, which is another local company. Benny Anderson does a lot of events and digital marketing and just a lot of different cool stuff. So the three companies decided to co-host this and co-produce it because we all saw a similar need in the community. The Eau Claire area is growing very rapidly. And in the marketing and communication space, a lot of times we would hear companies saying, we have this agency in Minneapolis or Chicago or wherever. And we're like, but we have people here. And a lot of times, the folks who are local and who know the companies and who are familiar with that, like they know the market. Not that all companies have a local market, right? Some of them are international or national.
Yeah.
But we know the companies, we're very familiar with how they operate. And the talent here is really great. And not just in our three companies, but there are tons of like freelancers, small businesses, like just creative people around this area. Eau Claire is known for having a lot of creative talent. So when you talk about content development or campaigns or anything on the creative side, like we have loads of people here who can do that. So we wanted to collaborate, bring more visibility to that community, and really position this community, the marketing and communications community, as being very strong here. Marketing is changing a lot. You see a lot of companies, Costco, Chick-fil-A, like these big chains coming into the area. And it would not be out of the realm of possible to say a big marketing agency is going to come and drop an office here to serve the local market. So I think we really wanted to make sure that the companies here know that we have a strong marketing and communications pool of talent here. If you're looking for careers here, like you can do that in this area. So that was the basis of that. And then again, like for our own professional development, a lot of us are one-person marketing departments. We don't have huge budgets to go to the coasts, to go wherever, to go to these huge marketing conferences, to learn about what's happening in our field. So we wanted to offer something regional that was more affordable, but still brought in like really relevant topics and people who are just doing the work on the ground. I always talk about how if I could just be a fly on the wall in that marketing department, I'd really love to know how they're doing this. Like, how did they come up with that? How did they execute that? What resource did they use for that? So this is an opportunity for anyone, not just marketing and communications professionals, but small business owners who are responsible for doing their own marketing, for them to come and learn about new tools, new tactics, new channels. Like, how did you do it? How do we start this? Really practical, really execution level kinds of things. And then, of course, we're talking about bigger picture strategy kinds of things as well, but still very practical in terms of how do you plan? How do you go about setting your strategy? So things like that.
Yeah, I love it. So question.
And you were going to be speaking, Scott.
Yeah, I will
be. Which is such a cool tie into this podcast.
Yeah. Oh, it is. I'm excited for that. This podcast was like my impetus for launching this was started because of this presentation. So I appreciate that too, that both that I get to do it and that it gave me this whole thing. Yeah. One question. So second presentation before the end of the day. How do you keep people awake? That might be a very personal
question. So it is very real because we all know by 3:00, we're just like, I need something. We actually, when I was at the university, and Sarah, who is one of the 4Ps, she will tell you too, we used to do 3:00 yoga.
Yeah.
Because
that's a
like
good
you hit
call.
that wall. It's like, I gotta get through another 2 hours. So at the conference, what we did was we put a really energetic workshop type of focus right after lunch, because that's a time when people are like, oh man, I just ate and it's nice and warm in here and I'm just get tired. So keeping the energy up that way. And then we also do happy hour. So something to look forward to at the end of the conference. So people hopefully are still like keeping up. We actually, and we might be breaking some news here on your podcast, Scott.
Whoa.
We actually are going to be bringing in a local business to record their podcast live. It's a recording, right?
Yeah.
But we're going to get to watch them record their podcast and then do some Q&A and learn about, from a strategic perspective, why they're doing that in their company. The podcast is Banker with a Beer.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Northwestern Bank. So Jerry Keel is going to come in and record their podcast at the conference. So we're really excited. I'm hoping that will, again, keep people energized and interested right up to the end. So plus it just matches really well with our happy hour and beer and cheese curds. I don't know how more Wisconsin you get.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love that live podcast. And Jerry, like he's just great, beloved in the community, but also just great at whatever presentation I've ever seen him at, which has always floored me. If it's something about music, he'll talk about it. If it's something about banking, and like both things, I'm like, whoa, I'm into it. Like, so
it's really great. And there's such a community leader that it just felt like such a great fit. They've sponsored the event for 2 years now. So just a really great community supporter. So we're really excited to have them.
Nice.
Part of the event. Yeah.
Since this is breaking news, this might just become one of my, we'll do 2 reels for this.
Ooh.
And even what I'm saying now will be included in the reel, but then it will end. This is a segment. This is a Emmy-winning segment, I assume. I haven't been given my letter yet, but I assume this is one of multiple Emmys so far.
Sure.
It's called the Dirty Little Secrets segment of the show.
Okay.
And that is, how are you using AI in your own daily practice? Or what's 1 or 2 ways? You don't have to be like every way if there's a lot, but.
Yeah. Okay. So one thing... So I don't use a ton of AI tools, just like full disclosure. I have a couple that I really like. I use ChatGPT and Perplexity for research, which then, of course, has to be checked always.
Yeah.
But it gives me a really good launch point. And then I also use both of them for structure. So a lot of times I will be typing and, okay, this is the idea and this is and I just paragraph, whatever. So I will use those tools to put the paragraph into there and say, organize this into headings and subheadings and like thoughtful pieces. So it's a little bit more digestible and scannable.
Yeah.
So that's something that I do. I also love it for creating like table content. So if I need a worksheet that I can fill out or that I could have a client fill out and I need them to answer these questions and in these categories or something like that, then it will build me a formatted table. So I really love those tools for that functionality. The other one that I really love is Fathom, which is a note taker for meetings. You do a really great job, Scott, of listening, right? And asking questions. You do. And when you're in a client conversation and you're talking about a project, like the last thing that the client wants to see is you like writing things down, or losing eye contact and typing and doing it. You can't listen as well. So I really like using Fathom because it takes notes for me. It's really good at capturing the summary, right? Gives you access to recording really easily. So I really love that. It allows me to be a better listener. So those are
I use one of those. Fireflies, very similar. What I like about that one is it notes down when I say I'll do something too.
Yeah, like the action
really
steps.
helpful.
Yep.
Well, it's also helpful because then I'm not preoccupied with that deliverable as we're ongoing conversation. I know, I'll update that one page for you, get that in there and yada. Then we can
Yep.
go on in the conversation and yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because I know you're talking about AI at the conference. And
Mhm.
I've thought a lot about what does AI mean for people who are in marketing and communications? Because I could go to Chat GPT and say, write me an article about this, and it will do it. And it will be okay. But I really I think about why marketing in the past many years has just downslid a little bit in quality. And I
Yeah.
think it's because there are so many tasks that are not sexy. They're not fun. Yes, you have to go in and optimize your website for search for certain terms or whatever. Or yes, you have to build your email list and do this sort of administrative kind of stuff that's just not using marketers' skills to the best of their ability. And
Yeah.
that I think that leads to oh, this is not what I thought it would be. And I'm getting burned out because I just have to continue to sync with the CRM or what, I don't know, whatever. I think that now AI is going to remove a lot of those mundane tasks. And to your point about students and recent graduates coming into the
Yeah.
field, a lot of times they were utilized for those types of jobs. And it's, can we please give these students more credit?
Right.
They are very creative. They are very willing to work hard. They are open. They have new ideas and new experiences that we're not going to think of as someone who's been doing this for almost 20 years. I need some fresh talent, fresh ideas, right?
Yeah.
So let's have them do that instead of some of this mundane work that we don't want to do. So I think AI has the potential to really raise the quality of marketing because of that fact. The humans are going to be able to spend a lot more time doing the things that only the humans can do.
Yeah.
We can stop spending all of our time doing things that just make us go, "Ugh."
Exactly.
I don't know. I'm trying to keep an optimistic look on it, but I think that there's an opportunity for that if we direct it that way, if we take advantage.
Yeah. My hope is that most of the content that I consume or that anyone consumes, that once it gets to me, that's by a real authentic person.
Mhm.
And I don't really care if everything behind it getting to me is, I want people to be paid in all the fields. I want everyone to be paid along the way. But if a lot of the steps to get that to me that are normal, that we're normally going through AdWords or purchase
Mhm.
SEO, yada, yada, if all of that can be automated so I can get an authentic message, I think that's a win.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. It's changing and it's changing
Yeah.
fast. So we'll see. But I don't know. I'm on the side of things that it's a tool for the
Yeah.
humans.
That's why I am this week a little behind the scenes for the viewer. I'm writing the presentation this week. I've had a lot of the pieces that I've known and I've been noting along the way, but honestly, on some of this, I was like, when did I sign up for this? April? I was like, I don't know what fully AI, especially generative AI. Cause I mean, AI, even in the creative world, that I don't want to go too much on a tangent, but so much of the Adobe suite for years has been AI. Like you take the background of an image. That's actually AI.
Yeah.
We've been using AI for years. So I think to put a fine point on, we're speaking more about generative AI in the language model.
Yes.
But I didn't fully know how people would be using it in the future. I knew that some things like your product descriptions, making sure they're the same, use AI to help with that. I didn't beyond that, no. And now there is going to be some really compelling stuff coming together. So I'm excited to talk about it. And hopefully there'll be some discussion and people be like, oh yeah, I also do that. Cause it's so crazy how things are moving and
so
fast. I mean, one thing, and this is a can of worms but I've been even starting to ponder, and I might even touch on this in the presentation, but how to get yourself mentioned in AI, I think is going to be a bigger thing that people are asking for. I don't know that they're quite asking for it yet, but it's getting close. That's the next SEO, really, in my mind.
Yes, it is 100%. People are using Chat GPT to search, to find answers. It's that like answer engine thing. So yeah, there's the SEO world is going to change. The use of Google will shift, I'm sure. So yeah, I think it's hard to speculate, and I'm not an AI expert, but I just am trying to keep a pulse on where it might be headed. But we've had technology changes in marketing forever. When the internet became a thing,
Nope.
the TV and radio industry were like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do now? And it has shifted a lot for them. I think that this is going to do something similar for the field. And I think the best we can do is just adapt and, again, stay focused on the customer, stay focused on the humans. Like at the end of the day, we're making decisions as humans. Now, one thing that's super interesting about that is the agentic AI, where the humans may not be making the decisions because you have an AI tool that is going to seek out options and present you with the best options based on whatever your criteria is. And then they will do it for you. This AI tool will do it for you. So consumer buying is likely going to change a lot too, simply because the tools will be employed in purchasing decisions, not just for search or productivity.
Oh, yeah. I mean, in the transportation industry, when I was in it briefly, we were already starting to see a lot of that like a lot of classic trucking sales is like load brokering. Okay, I can get you this rate from Poughkeepsie to Kansas City. And no one needs that like guy to do that anymore. And so that's just one small piece of it in little industry.
Yeah. And then you have to think, okay, does that mean people are shopping on price more frequently? Or are they going to be able to tell an AI, I don't care about price. I want you to shop for me based on the experience level of something or the quality or the reviews that they've gotten on Google, or I don't know.
Or if it's trending on social media.
Yeah. Do they support like sustainable practices or?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or I would be, because I'll be honest, I'm not on TikTok. It's fine. I don't have anything against TikTok. I just don't need it. I would love sometimes to have an update of what foods or something are trending just so I can be a hit with my nieces and nephews and be like, hey, we're going to some chicken place that I know that's in Reels right now or whatever.
Right. Yeah. It's another tool to connect with humans.
Yeah. I love that. It's another tool to connect with humans. So I'm now about to ask you the best question in every interview.
Okay, great.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with the audience?
I want people to, if you're in the marketing and communications field, I just want you to know about Roadmap coming up October 9th. So you can go to roadmapconference.com to check out the schedule, see the speakers, find us on Facebook and LinkedIn. If you want to, we have a couple of Midwest marketing get shit done groups on Facebook and LinkedIn, because that's what we do. We get shit done. Can we swear on your podcast? I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You can bleep that out if you need to. Yeah. So that's coming up. And then again, like just if you're a small business owner listening to this, like you've got a lot of great local talent right in your backyard to help with marketing communications initiatives. So check there. You don't have to go far sometimes to get really great talent. So yeah.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much, Erin.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see you in person at the conference. And have a wonderful marketing ventures. Thanks for, and that's what I do want to say in conclusion. Thank you for really bringing the personalization to the process in this discussion. That's been super helpful. So thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Scott.
And that's it for this episode of Who Is This For? Remember, whether you're creating music, brands, experiences, or stories, it's all about focusing on that one person, you. I'm Scott Morfitt, and you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you next time on Who Is This For?